Hi there everybody, my name is Fairy or the Hedge Witch, and welcome back to my sacred space. I'm super excited to finally be getting you guys this video. As you can tell from the title, I'm going to be sharing a little bit of my Samhain celebration with you guys. If you are unaware, Samhain is the celebration that takes place traditionally on October 31st, so this footage is a bit outdated, but I still wanted to bring it to you guys anyway. The first thing I'm doing here, I'm showing you guys just one of the few different rituals and spells that I did on Samhain. This one is a banishing and manifesting ritual. This is something I do every year and it's super easy. So I'm just taking these two little scrap papers out of a sketchbook. I literally just ripped them out. And on one of them, this one that I'm writing on right now, I am putting down everything that I wish to banish in the new year. And then once I'm done writing on that one, I'll be putting down everything that I want to manifest in the new year. And this one with the manifestations, that is a list that I will keep. So I usually like to make sure that this one's on a little bit neater of a paper and I'm using a little bit better handwriting so that I can look back on it later. So now that I am done, here's my manifestation list and my banishing list. I'm going to get out a fireproof container here. I'm using a cast iron cauldron. This one does have a lid. I prefer to have one with a lid just to snuff out flames. I'm taking a moment here just to really focus my intention to banish these things, and then I'm setting these items on fire in my cauldron. I'm making sure that nothing is in the way of the flames. I'm being very safe, and then once it's all burned down to ash, I put the lid on just to make sure I suffocate any remaining embers, and that's pretty much the gist of the ritual. So now we're moving on to working in my Book of Shadows. So this is a process that took me, I think, 4 different days to do. It's not an extremely complicated spread or anything like that. There's just a lot of dry time, and I'm the kind of person who just doesn't really have the ability to focus for a super long time, so I tend to spread out my spreads into different sessions. So right here, I am starting with the background of my page, and I decided to do watercolor, which is one of my favorite mediums for working in my Book of Shadows. This is the biggest brush that I have, which kind of sucks. That's something I'd like to get in the new year, some larger brushes to do washes like this, because it takes a very long time. So I cut that out for you guys. So here is the background orange. If you can tell, it is still wet. And then I'm taking a little bit of purple and a little bit of black, and I'm just really getting my brush nice and wet and splattering the paint around the page. Since the background is still wet, this ends up creating a little bit of color variation because it blends a little bit and spreads a little bit, and I think it turned out pretty cool. I did also put some paper down on the other half of my book just so that I didn't get splatters all over that blank page that I'm going to be using for something else in the future. So I let that dry, and then this was a different day here. I had pulled out some of my colored cardstock and decided I wanted to do some cute little cut paper for this. So here you see me drawing out a little pumpkin. This is going to be my little header tag for this spread. I just pretty much made an oval and then made little pumpkin ridges in it. I'm not super good at drawing or anything like that. You really don't need to be in order to do art magic. But yes, so that's what I'm doing here. And then once I have the shape solidified, I go ahead and cut it out. And once I'm done, I trace the pumpkin onto a black sheet of paper, and when I cut it out, I leave just a little bit extra paper. I leave like maybe 1/8 of an inch all the way around the line that I drew, and then that way when I stack the two together, it'll be like a little border like you can see here. The only glue I had in my room at the time was Mod Podge, so I used my glue brush and I brushed some Mod Podge on to glue those together and let that dry. And I did have footage of me cutting out a few other things, just a couple stars and like a little bat, but I have no idea where that footage ended up. I'm really sorry. So that's all I have for the paper cutting. And then here, this is my little manifestation list from earlier, from that ritual. And just to make it stand out a little bit more on the page, I'm hitting the ripped edges of it with just a little bit of purple colored pencil. I also taped in a leaf from, from my yard. I just used clear packing tape for that. I find that it helps with not making my pages stick together, which can sometimes happen if you use glue on this kind of stuff. Anyway, here I'm going ahead and putting my writing in. For all of the bold writing, I'm using a Sharpie, and for all the regular writing, I'm just using a normal pen. For this entry, I know the lighting is awful, so I'll kind of let you know what I'm writing about here. My partner and I had taken a vacation on Samhain, so I'm writing a little bit about that, and then I'm grabbing my tarot journal here because I did a pretty involved tarot spread on Samhain night, so I wanted to kind of write down some of the more important cards from my spread. The spread itself took up like 3 or 4 pages in my tarot journal, so I didn't go too in depth. I just wanted a couple little bullets to point out some of the really important stuff from that spread, so I have it in a more handy location than being buried in my tarot journal. And remember, if you're doing a spread like this, you can really put anything that you want. I've also written about different divination experiences and different things that I've done on these days, so you can get way more creative than just what I had here. And then right here, I'm just making a little heading for my manifestation list, and that is it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you still enjoyed this video, even though it is super out of date, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.